In the first major upset of the tournament, Atletico Madrid are out of the Club World Cup, and I have got to be honest, did not see that come in. Do you know what? I must say, I've really been liking what I've been seeing from the South American teams this tournament. If they didn't concede in the final moments against Atletico Madrid, Botafogo would have topped this group. But anyways, PSG win against Seattle to top the group, and do not let the scoreline fool you. This was actually a tough game for PSG, I thought. There was a little bit of rotation. Mayolu started ahead of Gonçalo Ramos. I didn't think it made a huge difference, but I thought it made a small noticeable difference. But I actually think that Seattle had one or two opportunities to actually score a few goals against PSG. There's this whole blunder with Donnarumma in the first half where he got pressed really intensely, gave up possession, and Seattle just could not make anything of it. There were countless times that PSG were actually caught out in possession and Seattle launched a counter-attack, but they'd always mess up that final ball. And that in part was because PSG pressed them really intensely, but also they were making mistakes I think other teams like a Manchester City would punish PSG for. But anyways, I think the goals were pretty good. A little unlucky for Seattle though with that deflected shot for the first goal. And up until that point, I actually thought Seattle played very well, and that small detail did change the game in my opinion. But hey, PSG and Botafogo are through to the round of 16, and Atletico Madrid, bye-bye. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. Vinicius had his first good game in a Real Madrid shirt for the first time in a while today, and yet it is this failed rainbow kit which will trend all across the internet. An odd way to start the video, but I do think this sums up social media very well. Moving on, Xavi Alonso's first win with Real Madrid as coach. There's a lot to say about this game, so I'm going to try and get through it very quickly. Firstly, Real Madrid were down to 10 men within 10 minutes of the game. Asensio, I think he is a good player. I think he is a talented player, but he is raw. He is unpolished. I think his decision making is poor at times. He conceded a penalty in the first Club World Cup game, now a red card in the second. It goes to show, it really does. But I do believe that Real Madrid recovered very well. Jude Bellingham's first goal, what a finish. He is very lethal when he gets into these positions in and around the box, and a pure striker's finish from him. But you know what, I think Real Madrid's second goal was just pure magic. From Vinicius to Trent's pass to Gonzalo to set up Arda Güler for a nice finish. I think this is something Real Madrid lacked last season under Ancelotti. Proper coordinated play when in the build-up. Wonderfully worked from all involved. I have to talk about Valverde because I think he was Real Madrid's best player in that second half, and I'm not just talking about the goal he scored, although he did have a big role in it obviously. From him picking the ball up from the defence and driving in the midfield, the passes he was picking out was very good. I thought his defensive work was good. His work rate was immense. I think he held it down in that midfield for Real Madrid in that second half. And if he gets man of the match, I think it's very much well deserved. Dean Huijsen is another player I think was excellent. These past couple of games we've seen from him, it's like he's been at Real Madrid his entire life. What a signing, what a player. Xavi Alonso and Real Madrid are going to have a lot of fun with him in the next couple of seasons. But I think this also sums up a little bit about Real Madrid's game, because Courtois was a menace. He did not deserve to lose his clean sheet. Chouameni, what a deflection. Pachuca had some decent chances, but the hand of Courtois said no, and you know what, as I said, he deserved that clean sheet. Shame. I also think that the fact that Rodrigo did not see some minutes is probably telling, but I'll get into that in another video. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. Some Real Madrid fans want Vinicius Jr. to leave Real Madrid. His Instagram comments are just full of fans saying, "Vinny out, we want Vinicius to leave Real Madrid." They've even started a hashtag on Twitter saying Vinicius out. And some fans are even mad that he's unpinned posts on Instagram which show him representing Real Madrid. I am telling you, it is basically civil war on Real Madrid Twitter right now. You have some fans saying Vinny out, we don't want Vinny, we don't need him in the team. And then you have other fans saying Vinicius Jr. has helped win us 2 Champions League. He has done so much for Real Madrid, just stop. Now this is interesting because I think there are a lot of contributors in this. I have legitimately seen Real Madrid fans comment that they don't want Vinicius Jr., but I've also seen rival fans weigh in on the conversation also. So we cannot say that this campaign is driven solely by Real Madrid fans, because that is false. But I am of the opinion that it is a little bit too extreme. As you know on my platform, I am all for criticising players when I think they deserve it. And it only really stems to how they are performing, and I'm always mindful of going over the top because I just don't think it's right. Vinny for the last few months has not been himself. He has not been performing on the pitch. He's getting riled up quite easily. He's walking around. He's not contributing in terms of goals and assists as consistently as he is known to. And yes, fans are rightfully going to be a bit annoyed at that because they are losing games. They had a bad season, sure. But there is truth in the fact that he has performed for Real Madrid and he has helped deliver them 2 Champions League, multiple La Ligas, Copa del Rey's also. And I don't think it's right to forget that in an instant like this. Now, you can have open and honest conversations about his form. I do it, you do it, everyone who likes football does it, let's be real here. But you don't need to start campaigns on social media, you don't need to bash his looks, you don't need to be racist, you don't need to do any of that to get your point across. Because that's when it tiptoes into hate rather than constructive criticism. But what are your guys' thoughts on this? As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. Different manager, same old Real Madrid. I blame Mbappe. He wasn't pressing hard enough. He wasn't in the box where needs be. I'm kidding. But this was a pathetic performance from Real Madrid. Honestly, very poor debut from Trent Alexander-Arnold. I thought he made a good few passes here and there, of course was involved in Real Madrid's goal, but all in all was not good enough defensively and offensively. Some guy on Twitter even documented all of Trent's mistakes, so go and have a look if you want to laugh. Of course, we have to talk about the player of the match, and Garcia, I thought he scored a very good goal. In general, I thought Real Madrid's counter-attack leading up to the goal was very good, and I thought it was something that Madrid lacked under Ancelotti sometimes. They actually had a couple of counter-attacking opportunities, and I thought Huijsen in particular's passing was exquisite. So I think as Real Madrid go through the season, this will develop, this will be a lot better. I thought Al Hilal for the most part were the better team. I thought they were fiercer on the ball. I think they created some good opportunities and they really pressured and in some respects dominated Real Madrid at times in that midfield. That's not to say that Real Madrid did not have chances. They had plenty and Bono made some very good saves. And I think the centre-back pairing of Al Hilal were actually pretty solid. Of course, there was the Valverde penalty miss, an excellent save from Bono yet again. As for the penalty, I understand why it was given, but I do think it was quite soft. And I just don't think Al Hilal would have deserved to lose in that way. For the most part, I wasn't happy with most Real Madrid's players' performance today. I thought Vinicius made some good passes in the second half, but overall I don't think he was great. I thought Bellingham had some good movement in and around the area, but all in all disappointing. Valverde, I don't think he had a good game at all. Even Garcia, great finish with his goal, but he had several chances that did not find the back of the net, which would have helped out Real Madrid. And I know he's young, so people aren't going to think too much into it, and they shouldn't. His positioning and him getting onto these chances are very good signs, and I think he could be a real good player in the future. But at some point, he's going to have to consistently score them as well. All in all, disappointing from Real Madrid. I thought Al Hilal under Inzaghi was very good. As I said, constant threat, troubled Courtois at times, and were very physical, really out-muscled Real Madrid today. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more. Kylian Mbappe has been hospitalised, but Real Madrid fans, football fans, do not fret. From what I can tell, it is not serious. So, in an official statement from Real Madrid, it appears that Kylian Mbappe has been hospitalised due to a stomach flu. I'm not even going to try and pronounce acute, okay? So, just read it off the screen. But essentially what it is some sort of stomach flu which can be caused by food, dehydration. And as we've seen from the Club World Cup, it is very humid in certain areas of America at the moment. So I think that, coupled with the food that he's been eating, his body did not take. As we all know, he did miss Real Madrid's confrontation against Al Hilal for the reason of him feeling unwell because he had a stomach flu.
From the limited research I have done, this specific illness only lasts for around a 1 to 3 day period, but in more severe cases like Kylian Mbappe, people are hospitalised. But as of right now, of course, there is no update on when he will be back, just that he is currently in hospital receiving treatment, and I do wish him the speediest of recoveries. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more.
Do you know Inter Miami are projected to face PSG in the round of 16 if they continue this trajectory and finish second in their group? Imagine that. You put in the work, you come second in your group, only to meet one of, if not the world's best team in the round of 16. It is cruel. Football is cruel. But anyways, Leo Messi. You know what? It just had to be him. We saw it with Cristiano Ronaldo during the Nations League, and I know, bigger game, but now we are seeing it with Messi in the Club World Cup. Great players are always going to be timeless. Although I must say, and I've seen it with Luka Modric at times as well, you can see that his mind is working in a way that his body is just not catching up with. There are certain moves he wants to make, passes he wants to give, balls he wants to latch onto, which he just can't in his older age. But still, Messi, timeless. And also, I must say, Porto losing this game has actually come at a bit of a surprise, because this Inter Miami team... But hey, that is football, and it is on the day, and you know what? They've got the greatest player of all time on their team. But yeah, as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more.
Lamine Yamal has been spotted with 30-year-old influencer Fatih Vasquez while on holiday abroad. And I was going back and forth on making a video on this, but you know what? This isn't right. Now, we don't know if they've engaged in certain relations or not, and it's not for us to speculate, but what business does a 30-year-old woman have going on holiday with a 17-year-old child? What does a 30-year-old have in common with a 17-year-old? Now, I'd understand if they were cousins or she was a long-time family friend, and if she is, I will hold my hands up, but as it stands, it's odd. At first, this all derived from fan speculation. Fans noticed that the helicopter in both of their social media posts were similar. They also found out that Lamine Yamal's shoe can be spotted in both of these photographs. Of course, the backgrounds looked similar. And now they seem to be correct given this photograph that came out. Most people don't care what players are doing in their private lives if it's not harming themselves and not harming others. But situations like this, of course, is going to get people's attention. People are going to be concerned for the well-being of Lamine Yamal. As I already stated, we do not know what kind of relationship this is, and we most likely will not know. But as it stands, I just think it is a little bit odd for a 30-year-old to be going on vacation with a child. Am I the only one who was entertained by this game? I actually thought LAFC put up a pretty good fight against this Chelsea side. There were some real opportunities for them to at least equalise or get onto the scoreboard. Well played. Well played. Now I've got to talk about Liam Delap, because what a wonderful debut from him. I already knew he was physical, but he was absolutely bullying the LAFC defence today. We're going to have to talk about that second goal, because I thought the entire thing from start to finish was wonderful. I thought Palmer was excellent on the right-hand side today, breaking down that LAFC defence, dictating play from that side. He sees Delap make the run, puts through a wonderful through ball which Delap latches onto. He takes the ball in his stride and puts a wonderful cross into the box for Enzo Fernandez to put it past Hugo Lloris. This was a superb goal from Chelsea, and while they were getting chances whilst Delap was not on the pitch, I did notice that his off-the-ball movement was giving them a lot more. Honestly, he's going to be a problem. Chelsea, in my opinion, are going to be a problem over the next couple of years. But anyway, a little bit more about the overall game. I thought Tosin was very solid at the back for Chelsea. As I said, LAFC could have come back into that game on multiple occasions, but Tosin stamped out nearly every chance that they had. Sanchez made a few good saves as well, and there was a chance, I think, after Chelsea scored their second goal, which should have been in the back of the net for LAFC, but sheesh, really well defended by Chelsea. I thought Caicedo, Enzo Fernandez and Cucurella all had good games. Of course, Pedro Neto with the opener. I thought he was a bright spark down that left channel actually. As I said, I thought LAFC played a good game considering their opposition, and it was actually an enjoyable watch. But as always, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and like and follow for more.